Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here with you, and season's greetings. We are ready. We are ready to jump into that time of year as we kick off Survivor 49 this week. And this is such a treat to be able to do a podcast like this. We've never done anything like this before. And here with us to join us to talk about how not to be the first person voted off of Survivor. It is the incredible first boot from Survivor 48. It's Stephanie Berger. Stephanie, how are you?
Hi, Rob. Oh my God, the bell. 3 bells. There were so many bells.
So many.
I'm great, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm very excited to get the chance to talk to you on a podcast. I think this is going to be a real treat for the listeners and for me. But let me ask you this question. Stephanie, what makes you qualified to be a guest on a podcast of how not to be the first boot?
This is a those who can't do segment, right? Like, I think
You don't have to go down the road I did.
No, but like, actually, if I can stop one potential first boot from becoming a first boot in the future, like, my mission will be achieved.
Great. Well, I know you did a lot of research going into play your game on Survivor 48. So I'm looking forward to hearing your process as, that they do this in business in a lot of ways, a lot of successful companies. And I know you are a successful businesswoman of like when something goes wrong, often there's an autopsy of like, okay, and really, I haven't done this yet in my business, but like when they work on an idea, sometimes you think, okay, the idea has failed. What went wrong? And sort of like, can you preemptively do that autopsy? And maybe that's what we're doing for somebody.
Yep. So I work for Amazon. We do something called a correction of error. When there's a problem at Amazon, like we will go back and we'll look into the 5 whys. We'll see what the root cause was. We'll try to assign mitigating actions. I guess that's kind of what I was emulating here. I don't think I thought about it that way. So I'm a product manager. We will do something sometimes right before something launches called a pre-mortem, which is like,
that's the word I was looking for.
There you go. So like a post-mortem is obviously like, it's the autopsy. It's like, tell me why it died, right? But a pre-mortem is, okay, if it's going to go badly, like what is going to happen? I guess that's like, I actually had not made that connection until you just said it. But yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Okay. Stephanie, how are you doing outside of Survivor?
Oh, I'm really good. I'm lovely. I'm living in New York. Life is good.
Okay. All right. Well, happy to have you here. And so why don't we jump into this? Where do you want to start this discussion?
Okay. So you said, I think at the start of this, that I did a lot of research before my season, which is true. But I have spent some time thinking about the things that I did as a mistake here. And I think my first big mistake was I spent a lot of time studying winners.
Okay. This is interesting. This is a good insight.
I actually think, and that's part of what prompted this, right? Like studying winners is cool. Winners are great. What is the like Russian author that says like, all happy families are the same. All unhappy families are like unhappy in a wide variety.
Tolstoy.
There you go. Thank you very much. You got to go kind of Tolstoy and go look at the losers, I think, to really get into like what is going to drive a loss. And I know
it's more important to learn what not to do than to learn what to do is what you're saying.
Yeah. And there's entire podcasts. Like I'm not trying to reheat Jess and his name is David, right? I'm not trying to reheat their nachos here.
No one has ever reheated their nachos. That's never happened before.
I will not be reheating their nachos. But I do think that like if I had actually taken the time to look at things that drive losses versus things that drive wins, like I was so focused on a win that you forget that you need to not lose on the way there. And I think that that's like one of my key insights.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is driving this.
How do you do that practically? How do you focus more on the players that lose than the players who win?
I mean, you obviously do a great job of making sure there's lots of material on this. So like you can listen to exit interviews. You can watch episodes of folks who like remind you of yourself or who you think could remind you of yourself.
Stephanie, who reminded you of you?
As a loser.
No, I mean, well, I think as when you were going in, or you're saying you didn't do this.
No, I don't feel like I did. I feel like I really like leaned in on like, well, which winner am I going to emulate? I think even like that's a question that gets asked, right? Like, Mike Bloom and Dalton are going to ask you, like, whose strategy are you planning to emulate? And I wonder if it's like, well, what pitfalls do you not want to fall into? Or what are the
Yeah.
traps do you think that you could maybe fall into?
Yeah. Stephanie, do you feel like looking back at your season, do you feel like that did you not execute or were you unlucky? And I feel like that there's probably
Okay.
like a degree to which on the scale of didn't execute to unlucky, where did you fall?
So I feel like you're getting into it. You're like secretly asking about something without explicitly asking about it, which is like, well, let me ask, when you say like luck, are we like bringing up the like disaster tribe theory, right? Like, are
Yeah.
we getting into like, were you in a situation that was an unwinnable situation? Is that kind of what you're
So
asking?
this wasn't what I came into this podcast to talk about, but I actually listened to a book earlier this year that was called, I believe it was Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke, who that many reality TV fans may know from Celebrity Apprentice. She's a poker player. And she would talk, she was talking about how sometimes you can have good process, and by way of just like in poker, you could have played the hand perfectly, but it was an unlucky hand. It was a bad hand. And no matter what you could have done, the cards were bad.
Uh,
And sometimes you get a great hand and play it horribly.
I think, yes, I think that those things are true. And probably like in all things in life, like it's a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
But I think if I really look back on my time, right, like we came down in our tribe colors. It is 2 a.m. We are eating breakfast before we're going to go out. And I think immediately I like literally like write it in my journal, like I'm on the disaster tribe, right? Like I look around, I see who's in green, and I'm like, this is not going to go well. Where and like it, the vibes in pregame, like you're kind of looking around. I'm like, Mary is reading a book upside down at 5 o'clock in the morning in the tents before our like press day. Like
Why?
just,
Why did she
Justin,
read a book upside down?
bro, I don't know. We gotta ask Mary that.
Was it to throw people off? Did she not have her glasses on?
No, I think like literally that was just like a comfortable position for me. Like that's
Oh, she was upside down reading a book, not that she
yeah.
wasn't reading a book flipped over.
No, that would be actually fucking insane. That would be wild if she was like reading a book
Yeah.
upside down just to like throw us all off.
Yeah.
But no, like you just like I didn't get a lot of vibes off the people that I
Yeah.
sort of saw come down in green in the first place. But I think if you like figure out, okay, I think this is going to be a tough group of people for me personally to play with, or that we might be a little outgunned when it comes to a challenge, I think you have to play differently. And it's
Yeah.
embarrassing a little bit to look back on my own journal and be like, wow, I had the insight and then I didn't have the execution and do the things that I think you would need to do differently.
Yeah, because I think you probably, and I don't know, which was the winner that you said you thought you were going to try to play like?
Oh my God, they're so embarrassing to say now.
Who was it? Parvati?
No. She's amazing, but I don't think I've got Parv in me. I don't know. I like loved Kim Spradlin.
Kim Spradlin. Okay.
I love a
So,
Natalie Anderson. I love a Jam Jam.
sure. And so I think that probably if you were going to be like a Kim, you probably thought you were going to come in and, hey, I'm going to not be, coming in and scrambling off the bat. I'm going to play this cool because that's what Kim would do. Kim wasn't coming into the game
Correct.
and running around and trying to, really, make magic happen in the first 3 days of the game.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. But I think as soon as let's take some odds on this, right? There are 3 tribes. And if you think that there is going to be a tribe that's not going to lose, right? So let's like take Logie. I think they pretty handily win the Maroon.
Remind us which one is Loggy.
Yeah. Loggy is purple. It's your California
Okay, got it.
girls. It's your Joe. It's your Eva. It's
Mhm.
Star,
Shaheen.
Shaheen, Thomas, Bianca.
Mhm.
Uh,
Star.
yeah, I said Star, didn't I?
Okay.
I got Star. Yeah, we got them all. We got all
Got
six of
them
them.
all.
And they're in
2 of
purple.
Jeff's favorite all-time players.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
And so, you look at a tribe like that and you're like, okay, they smoke us out of the marooning challenge, right? Like both the other tribes, I think, are still at that point trying to get up the wall, and they've already like landed all the little things on the things, right? At that point, right, you're basically in a 50-50 horse race. It's our tribe versus another tribe that are probably not going to win the immunity challenge. And I think if you are in a situation where you think you've got 50% or greater odds of going to the first tribal, as soon as you hit the beach, like feet in the sand, you've got to, it's a warm body strategy at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
you are standing near me, you are standing near me, you are standing near me. It's time to make your four. And you don't have the luxury of waiting. You
And
can't
we
like
saw
kim it out.
in your season where it seemed like that Say was somebody who really did recognize that, where that there was a scene, and I don't know if any of this was played out of order, but it seems like that she is talking with you and Mary, and you all are like, "Hey, we just got here," and she's like, "Listen, I gotta get my four going."
No, does she make it farther than me? Absolutely, right?
Mhm.
Like that is the strategy. I think you look around, you think you've got greater than 50% or greater odds of going to the first tribal. It doesn't matter if you do or don't want to work with the people who show up on your beach. It doesn't matter. Like find the people standing nearest to you who you think you can lock in with and lock in. And I
Yeah.
think like you sit around and you want to be like, let me get more data. I want to see who I could really go far with. I want to see who I'm going to be able to work with really well over time. It's just not gonna like you are going to fall behind. I like can only imagine the producers that rooted for me during casting sitting there being like, what the fuck is she doing? Move faster.
Yeah. And I think that this is also a new era, especially phenomenon. And in the old days, not to sound like grandpa on his podcast, but I think you did have more time in terms of like a bigger group of 8 or 10 people to be able to play it out. And you could wait a little bit more, that maybe there was somebody who was on the outs, but it wasn't locked in a way where in 6 people, you could get locked out of the first vote.
Yeah, I mean, no one would talk to me. They get so locked that I cannot make inroads talking game with a single person for essentially aside from Mary, who like, she and I are also like talking about like Ricky and tarot cards. Well, we can't make inroads, or I can't make inroads with anybody to talk game strategy. Like Kevin even tells me I'm his number two. Like it
Mhm.
is not, I am not able to have those conversations. And it's in some ways, I also just might have been like off-putting to people, but in some ways it is just simply like things lock up and then you are truly on the out. So I would say future players, you go out there, particularly on a 6-person tribe, like finding your four is really key. And I think you can let perfect really quickly be the enemy of good enough. You need to get good enough together, because ultimately, like, yeah, you can get pushed out really fast.
Yeah. Okay. Stephanie, what else did you take away from your experience that you think could help players in the future?
So, I mean, I think coming back to the idea of a disaster tribe, I think this is something that is starting to become a thing. Like, like players are aware of it. This was the first year that Mike Bloom actually asked about it in his interviews. Like, what are you going to do if you're on the disaster tribe? We've seen more than half of seasons in the new era where a tribe is getting decimated down to 2 or 3 people. And I think that that's living really present in players' minds. And as somebody who was on essentially a tribe that happens to, I have, I guess, like a broader reflection on it, which is that I think it can be a little bit more of a self-fulfilling prophecy than we initially give Uh,
Okay.
then we like, um, yeah, I think my initial reflection coming out of it was like, man, there was no chance. And now I look back on it and I'm like, I don't know. I think we could have maybe gotten something together.
So do you feel like, and Kevin also got hurt, he hurt his shoulder in the first challenge. So you felt like that there was a disaster tribe potential before you even went out there. And then on
Yes.
top of that, then there was an injury to the person who was like on paper, your most physical player. But you feel like that part of this was also a self-fulfilling prophecy?
I think, look, you get a group of rational people together and you uh, sit around and you know that you know that there is a tribal coming, right? And at a certain point, when you believe that the likelihood of a tribal increases and increases and increases, it decreases your willingness to work together and to see this as a truly like collaborative tribe environment. And you're just looking at around and
Right.
saying, like, who are the 2 or 3 that I want to make it to the swap with? Right? Who are
Mhm.
the 2 or 3 that I want to make it to the merge with versus like, do we have any shot of walking into a merge as an intact tribe? Because we believe like half of us are going to be gone.
Does any of that present itself in the challenge where, like, if somebody is screwing up the puzzle, are you sort of like, you know what, I'm just going to let this person, choke in the puzzle because
Um,
and I don't remember the circumstance. You were the person that choked
I
on the
screwed up
puzzle?
the puzzle. Yeah, no, definitely don't do the puzzle. Like, I cannot emphasize enough, and particularly on my tribe, it was not a group of people that wanted to volunteer for things, right? Like, you might recall, you mentioned this, right? Kevin gets injured in our marooning challenge, and then they literally, like, medical comes, they take his arm, they like shove it back into his socket, and then Jeff goes, okay, you two tribes, our tribe Vula, and then Siva. So that's got like Kyle, David, Charity, and Camilla, and Chrissy, and who is the last person I'm missing?
Mitch.
Mitch. Thank you. Oh my God, Mitch, don't miss. You've got that crew. Did you see the video today? It's so good.
No, I didn't see a new video.
You didn't see it?
There's
Oh,
a new
okay.
Mitch, a
We
new
gotta we
Mitch
gotta
video
get to
just
this. You
dropped.
gotta go watch the video of all of us doing that in the pool.
Yeah.
They literally are like, okay, you guys and you guys, who are you gonna send to go earn your supplies in a challenge? And our group looks at each other and we send Kevin.
Mhm.
We send the guy who just had his arm shoved back in to its socket. That's who we send.
And why did you pick Kevin? Was it out of fear of better him than us, or that you
I
still thought he
think
was the best chance, or I
I
don't want to screw it up?
No, I think, like, somebody literally was like, "Kevin, like, you can redeem yourself." Like, and I'm, like, standing there being like, "Redeem himself?" Like, he got injured. But I think that's crazy. What are we doing? And it actually, so, like, I mean, people don't remember this. You don't No one who is watching this, I'm sure you don't even remember who I am, but, like, Kevin winds up actually winning that challenge. It's incredible. He
Mhm.
comes back with the pot and the flint, and we, like, lose our minds, and then they never have Flint again, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
But we like,
because Kyle breaks his bottle.
because Kyle, well, I know, but like if you actually ask those guys, like Kevin was ahead, blah, blah, okay. I'll let the two of them battle for how that went. But the headline here, right, is like, we're one, standing out and volunteering for something was like not the culture on my tribe. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, no one else will do the puzzle. I guess I'll do the puzzle. Terrible idea. Don't do it. And particularly if you're on a group of people, if you're with a group of people who are all like, yeah, I'm not going to do it either. Like, I don't know, like, it really is super high risk, high reward. Like, you are putting yourself in a situation where you make it very easy for them to come up with a reason to cut you. And it's a reason that like nobody really can argue with because everybody just saw you do it. Like, if you're bad at carrying something heavy, but you're all carrying it at the same time, nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. But
Mhm.
if you're bad at a puzzle or if you're like having a hard time putting in the pieces, like everybody is going to see that.
It's such an interesting predicament where it's like sort of you are down and you're in trouble, and it seems like that the only way out is to, throw the proverbial Hail Mary, not the person that you played with who did hit the Hail Mary on the shot in the dark, but
She
you're in such a bad situation that it's
did.
like, okay, well, the only way out might be to go further in, and it's such a catch 22.
Well, yes, and you also, like, I think you're gonna battle with, and everybody's gonna have to figure this out for themselves, but you're gonna battle with the feeling of like, I want control over my own destiny, and you don't have any in that moment, right? Like you're sort of subject to the whims and the fancies of your tribe mates, and you're like, well, but if I can get this one thing right, maybe I can like find my way through. And of course, like no one goes out there actually to not play. Like you go out there and you're like,
Mhm.
yeah, I want to do the challenge. Yeah, I want to do the puzzle. I want to do the hard things that are part of the game. So you're dead on, Rob, where it's like it is a balance, but you also like you really do have to fit in with the culture of the people you're playing with. And I think I struggled there in particular.
Do you feel like, other than saying yes to Say when she says, "Do you want to make an alliance?" Do you feel like is there something that you did that you feel like that you wish you could have done differently and that would have changed things?
Yeah, I mean, like, if I will be famous for anything, maybe it's like staring at the stars, or maybe it's the like I said I was gonna sit on my hands when I played, right? I'm like not a hand sitter.
No.
I am sort of a person who can't like the reason I had to sit on my hands is because I can't help but do the thing very often. And it is sort of how I operate. But the thing I said to myself, I might have even said it in my pregame press was like, I don't want to drive the first vote. I don't want to do it. I don't, right? Like, I want to play like Kim. I don't want to have to scramble and I don't want to have to make the decision. I want to let somebody else take the call and then go from there. But if you are the target, you do not have the luxury of deciding you don't want to drive the boat. Like you have to say, okay, I'm at risk here. Camilla does it beautifully, right? In our season. I think she's like famous. Her like riding the bus over people is like a absolute icon moment for her. If
Mhm.
if somebody has got your name in their mouth, you have to go after them. You do not have a choice. It's no longer
Right.
an option and you cannot sit back because no one cares. No one's gonna back you. They don't know you.
Right. It's like the idea of everybody wants to be under the radar, but once you are squarely on the radar, like now it's time for like evasive maneuvers. Like because they've got their target locked on you. You can't go
Yeah.
under the radar now. They've already
No.
got you in their sights.
No, I think that's exactly right. And so like this is what I mean when I say I feel like I had all the insight. Like I had the pieces. I was like, I had them. It's the meme of the woman with the math symbols around here, but like I was not putting them together
Mhm.
and taking the action that you need to take. It's like I knew, and this like might happen to people who go out there and who are fans of the game and who have studied the game, but maybe have not. And like I'm not like a ORG player. Like I wish I were. I probably should have done that too. I'd put that on my like list of things I would do in the future to prep. But like you can't just know that something is going wrong. You have to know the kind of thing that you do. And as soon as somebody is working against you, it's game on. You have to go after them. And you got to come up with any reason possible for it. Like Kevin voted for me. I would have never voted for Kevin. But why wasn't I being like, guys, he's injured. He's got to go. He's going to get medevaced anyways. Like, let's pull him out the game. There were things I could have said or done
Yeah.
that I
But they
just
might not have done that. And you might sleep a little better to think if I tried it, but I don't think they were going to go for
no.
that.
I no, and like look, hindsight is both 2020 and it's also some rose ass colored glasses here, right? Like I can look back and be like, here's all the things I could have done. And it's back to your original point, which is like maybe I played the very best hand that I could with the cards that I was dealt. It's possible. But
Mhm.
when I think about things that I think I could have done differently, trying to rally a vote against somebody else more effectively versus being like, what do you guys want?
Yeah. And the
That
purpose of
would have been better.
Yeah, the reason why Annie Duke was talking about that in terms of process is that sometimes, like in Survivor, I'm sure this happens all the time, where players play a round of the game or play a season horribly, and for whatever reason, it works. But
Mm,
it's hard for, and that person comes away feeling like, I'm the
mm.
best. I did it. I did amazingly. It's like, well, actually, like none of that should have worked. Like you got incredibly lucky. And there's
Can
also
you?
times where, and I'm not gonna name names,
I
and there's also
have,
times
come on, stay
where
right
players,
there.
played incredibly well and it didn't work out. And so it's very hard for us. And the difference is in poker, people play thousands of hands of poker, and we have such, but like we get often one shot to play Survivor, and that's it.
Yeah,
Game over.
no, I think that that's dead on. And if that's like, look, if that's like helpful at all for a future first boot, like maybe you're listening to this because you just got the call, you just spoke to someone in casting, and you're like, let me
Congratulations.
shore up some of my strategy and let me make sure that I listen to someone who knows a very limited amount about how not to lose Survivor. But like, if you just lost, say you are the first boot, I think it is like a 49, right? We've got a new one. I am passing the torch imminently. It is helpful to think about, like, yeah, you might have done the very best you could, and in a different version, you get a different outcome. And like, if that's not why we watch this, I don't know what is. Like
Yeah.
that's what makes this good. It's why you can have 49 seasons of it. Like it's that sort of like dynamic quality that keeps this really fun for the viewers.
Stephanie, I want to go back to Ponderosa. And,
Really.
in the Survivor 48 preseason, you were a figure that a lot of people mentioned. And of course, that you're tall, like people see
I
you,
know.
you're a very visible person at Ponderosa. I'm sure that played into, you being like top of mind for a lot of people that are there. How do you think that the Ponderosa weighs into being a potential first boot?
There is somebody in casting who has said that you can't win the game during the pregame, but you can lose the game during the pregame. And I think that that's probably not entire. Like those people know what they're talking about. I think standing out for any reason can be really challenging. There's some people though who stood out really hard in pregame, like the Shaheens of the world. Man, he stood out at 2 pregames, like it didn't matter for him. He makes it quite far in the game, and he makes a deep run. Caleb is another person I think of
Mhm.
who like was sort of famous for standing out in the 45 pregame and also makes a pretty deep run. Like it happens that people stand out. There are things you cannot fix. And honestly, like production don't want you to, like they want you to show up the way that you looked when they said, come on down and we want to
Yeah.
have you in the season. So like, you're not changing that. Um, and there are people who like loved that I watercolored at pregame. And then there were
I've
people
always
who
been curious
really
about that.
didn't like it.
Did you brought paint to
Yeah.
Ponderosa, and then you had an easel, like, or we just
Oh,
you
it's
were at
not
your
even fucking
table?
legal. No, but no, I brought watercolors. And you should know that one of my watercolors is framed and sits on a bedside table in Cedric's house. So all is
Oh,
right with the world.
yeah.
But yeah, I brought watercolors. Look, I just like needed an activity that was gonna make my brain not like lose
Yeah.
itself there. But yeah, it probably wasn't the right one.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
remember that there was something. Did Say feel like there was something that you were doing at Ponderosa that got under her skin?
I think it was the painting she didn't like.
Painting. She didn't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Um,
but also like people are going to, I think I said this when you and I chatted back in February, like you get cast by being a person who is somewhat polarizing. That's what makes you fun on
yeah.
TV. And so like you're not going to really be able to hide that. And even the people who maybe were kind of like not super noticeable during Ponderosa, like or that didn't really make a huge impression, some of the biggest personalities that I know now on the show.
Is it any consolation when you look back at how the season played out to say that, you know what, this probably wasn't going to be my season anyway?
Oh, like a season that wasn't for the girls and the gays?
I mean, I didn't say that, but you were no. Did anybody from your tribe end up
Yeah,
going far into the game?
Mary comes
Yeah,
in seventh,
Mary got the
right?
furthest, but it was really she was like could not crack that core group, which was really people like the stronger guys and people from the other tribe and Kyle bringing in Camilla. So it
And she
doesn't
has an
really
extraordinary break of luck, right? I play my shot in the dark, no luck.
right.
She plays her shot in the dark, and it is
Even if you got out, though, it doesn't feel like you go on to win the season.
I mean, that's like one of those, you really never know. But I'm of two minds on this one, which is there are some formidable duos and trios that make it out of a decimated tribe that go on to absolutely demolish the competition. They are forged in fire. You look at like a Kenzie win, you look at a Jam Jam win. Those are very impressive hero wins. Like you can do that. The key is, if this is like a whole other essay, right? But the key is that you have to come out of this pre-merge period with more trust for each other versus less trust for each other. And so like, I don't know, it kind of depends like who from Vula makes it out. But if Vula makes it out, I don't know. The more fun, bro, we were 3 puzzle pieces away. The more fun thought experiment is like, what happens if we send Siva to the first tribal?
Interesting. And who would have gone out?
Oh man. I don't know where their dynamics were. I don't know.
That's Kyle and Camilla's tribe?
That's Kyle and Camilla's tribe, but like
Charity?
Maybe. Okay. I don't know. I don't know where it seems like the edit from that episode kind of puts her like as the one who's like throwing out names being shady, but who knows if that's like actually real.
All right. Stephanie, I know we're running short on time tonight. Okay. But I love to know, you and Mary talked about the tarot cards. Did the tarot cards tell you anything about your Survivor game, or is there anything that like in retrospect looking back something that you maybe misinterpreted?
Like things that I misinterpreted.
Like what I'm sure you drew cards before you went to go play, right?
Oh my God, I did. I don't know what they were. I would have to get I don't think I have it handy. I would have to get my.
Did you feel good after the reading?
Oh yeah, I felt good. I got on that plane. I walked into the hotel, like the Ponderosa hotel. I always felt really good. I felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And sometimes that's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you're also just going to happen to be the first person eliminated, and it is what it is.
Well, Stephanie, listen, you were supposed to be here with me today, and you come back anytime. You are a delight to talk to, and I think that you have really interesting insights about the game. I think that you have some unconventional opinions, which we love on the podcast because we hate samey same on the podcast. So thank you so much.
Oh my God.
This was a great idea for a podcast. I'm glad you came up with it.
Thanks. I really appreciate you giving me the time, Rob, and I would talk to you literally anytime you want.
Okay. I'll take you up on that. All right. Great. Stephanie, where can people keep up with you?
Oh, I am on Instagram at Stephanie Berger Face. I think that's also my TikTok handle, but don't quote me. And I believe my Twitter is at Steph Berger. I have nothing to plug. I'm not selling anything. I am like absolutely delighted with exactly my 2.5 minutes of confessional time and fame. No more needed.
Not even watercolors for any interested parties?
No, I don't have a cameo. I don't make watercolors except when I want to piss people off during pregame, and obviously for Cedric McFadden.
Okay. All right. Stephanie, thank you so much. Thanks everybody
Great
for checking out
job.
this podcast. This was a really fun one to dive into. We, not like heaven though, and we are going to get into everything on the Survivor Know-It-Alls after the episode on Wednesday night. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.